not bad for the first game out. We did absolutely no game prep, which is not trying to take anything away from Newberry. That's why a lot of guys that have my job don't schedule Dave, so you guys understand. Ask him. I don't know if you asked him or that. He's taken a lot of big schools to the wire. He's beaten big schools. He does a heck of a job. Only thing that concerned me, and it was more in the first half than the second half, and then it concerned me again towards the end of the game. Some of their guys were playing harder than some of our guys, and that's not acceptable. But that's the young guys. That's the problem. That's the challenge. Young guys don't understand how hard you have to play every day.
Franco, what was the halftime adjustment? It seemed like they were playing their game and shooting threes and running and everything. Did you guys talk about anything specific to try to slow them down, or was it just shots started going in?
Our offense just, we had guys trying to dribble and double teams. We turned it over, and then we were shooting threes on the first pass. That's what they want you to do. You can't shoot threes on the first pass. They come double the point guard hoping that guy on the wing shoots a three. That's what they want you to do. And that's one thing we did tell our guys. But, one thing is talking about it. The other thing is actually when you're out there and it's all over the place. And we got suckered in to shooting threes and trying to make plays off the dribble when there's two guys on us rather than passing the ball. So that's all we talked about at halftime. I said, stop. Somebody cut to the basket and throw it to the guy at the rim. They've got a bunch of little guys. Throw it to him. Get some offensive rebounds. Pass the ball, run some offense, shoot it, and then go rebound. That's kind of what we did. And that, our offense is what created the separation, because now, as crazy as this sounds, when you take good shots and you score at the rim, then their style offensively doesn't hurt you. But if you take bad threes early on the clock or you turn it over, now in the open court, their guard who plays center is taking your big while he's trying to catch up to him and taking him off the dribble. And you can't offensive rebounds bad shots. There's a reason they're called bad shots. It's not just because they miss, but that means that you can't get a rebound. So the spacing's bad. So that means teams take off on you, and that's it gets back to the same thing. Like I told our players, the one thing that I really, 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 really liked is when we were zoned in, our bigs, when we play a team that plays four guards, are going to be just fine. Our bigs, when our defense got set, did a pretty darn good job of guarding little guys off the dribble and getting where they belonged on the floor. They hurt us they were driving towards the baseline and running a guy from the strong side elbow behind the driver, and our guy guarding him getting sucked in on that rotation, and that's not their rotation. The problem is those are our first-year guys. They're not as clean on what they're supposed to do. And so we made that adjustment, and then it was better. But more than anything, it was our offense. Dave, I gave you all that, hoping that maybe you can put that on the first page. That'd be nice. Maybe that. I spoke for 25 minutes. See if the story's so big that you can't put it on the back page this week.
Coach Davis was kind of talking about the evolution of your program. And through the first game, obviously against y'all this time, he was saying that the biggest thing he's seen from Thornwell in that way is his confidence growing, and that was one of the things that led to his big day today. Did you see the same things coming from him?
Absolutely. Senderis is a heck of a player. Senderis is an unbelievable leader. Sin does more coaching on the court than I do right now. And that's a credit to who he is. Him and Dwayne have really, really, really grown as people and players. They have full ownership of this basketball team right now, those two guys. They play with a sense of urgency every single play in practice, and that translates to how they play in the game. That's the biggest key. That's what we just spoke about in the locker room. I'm not going to tell you the detail of the conversation, but you have to learn to be an everyday guy. You got to do your job every day, whether you like the other team or you don't, whether it's popular or not, whether it's public or not. You do your job every day. When you do that, you find success in life. And that's Sindarius and Dwayne have figured that one out. So they do their job every day. So guess what? They play their tails off. And that's why coaches, and Cal can say all he wants to about freshmen and all that. God bless his soul. God bless his soul. Ask him if he wouldn't want to have 3 or 4 seniors every year that play. I bet you he says yes. Seniors get it, man. They've been through your system. They have a sense of urgency. I'm not saying freshmen are bad. It's just a completely different approach because now they're starting to become men, and men handle things differently than young people.
Coach, did anything surprise you as far as your team's performance, whether it be returners or any of the new guys?
Not really. Kind of played the way we've been practicing. Our bigs have to become a lot better on the offensive glass. They have to give us a presence at the rim. I think they did a better job of that in the second half than in the first half. I think the guys that played the 4 and the 5 that are true 4s and 5s, not when I slid Sin into the 4 spot, combined grabbed 4 offensive rebounds. That's not good. We have to do a better job, but that goes with shot selection. We started taking better shots, so they started going in, so there weren't as many offensive rebounds. I think our guys have been good in practice. This is also a good learning tool for us. Guys have. Here's the deal. Defensively, everyone talks about rotations. The idea is to not rotate. That means that the guy guarding the basketball keeps the ball in front of him. Great teams don't get beat off the dribble, and if they do, their rotations are clean. It's not they have great rotations. Rotations are the last thing you want to be in defensively. We got guys that are young. They don't understand that yet. They got taken off the dribble. We have to do a better job of guarding the ball. And this team drives you from 5 places. And the way he subs, it's not like the same guy driving you. It's a new guy every single time. But I get back to saying I got a lot of respect for Dave. I think Dave does an unbelievable job. They always win. He's got a great demeanor. His team, you saw how hard they play. I wish I can kind of stay quiet and get my guys play that hard. I don't. That's what's beautiful about the world. We're all different, but you can get great results doing it different ways. And that's. Those kids play so hard. It's a joy to watch them play.
Frank, you mentioned Jarrell Holloman at the beginning of the week that he could be a guy that could come and impact. Played 8 minutes, had 3 and 3. Silva was in foul trouble, but can you see Holloman getting more and more minutes as the year goes on, especially being an older guy?
He's going to have to. I mean, it's Tut's coming off that knee injury. He probably could have played. I chose not to play him, and I wasn't real happy with him anyways. But we got nothing but freshmen there. And he's been through practice for a whole year, last year. And, and he's so much better than he was a year ago, So until Ceedy gets healthy, but then it's another freshman that's going to try to figure stuff out. Until Ceedy gets healthy, Jarrell's going to have to help this team. And I think he will. I really do. I think he needs some confidence, and moments like today helps him.
Was that just cramps with Mike? And how did you think Hassani played with the ball in his hands?
Sonny, all that pressure and all that stuff kind of got him playing too fast. And that's what they want you to do. Put your head down and play real fast. Sonny's going to be fine. Sonny was nervous, like most guys would be for their first college game ever. Defensively, he played inconsistent. But he'll be fine. And what was the other one you asked me? Mike? Yeah, it's all cramps. He's never had to run so hard, so fast in his life because remember, he's used to chasing big guys around, and all of a sudden he's chasing 5'7" guys around, and that's and because of how they play, he had to run. It's good for him. Yeah, actually, him and KG. I'm gonna say something. I probably shouldn't, but what the heck? Limonis would have had no chance in this game because he couldn't get out there and defend outside of 10 feet. Limonis would have been hard to play in this game. KG and Mike, for their first game ever, they were pretty good defensively when we allowed our defense to set. We got to help them get better offensively, and that's my job. and that way we take better shots so they're more comfortable and people don't come at them in the open court.
Coach Zendarius referred to this as an open practice today. How does this process, playing an exhibition, help the team along from those practice settings with the team to getting ready for actual games when it counts?
Yeah, it's like I just said about like Hassani. He's nervous. Mike Kotsar was so nervous before the game; it was unbelievable. Well, it's out of their system now. You're as a competitor, you're always nervous going into a moment of competition. But the first time you ever do it, there's a different nervousness about you. Now that's out of the way. So guys like that will be, I think they'll still be nervous on Friday, but they'll be able to get through it a lot easier than today. Early in the game, all those guys were like so tight and tensed up. And I thought as the game went on, they settled down. And so that's why a guy like Sin and Dwayne, it was just another day at the office. Let's go play hard, be disciplined to our responsibilities, been through this. They didn't play faster than they needed to. And, and the other guys kind of got wrapped up in that.
Do you think a game like this with this tempo really helps prepare you for the opening spurt, 3 games in 5 days, and just having to turn it around and just play hard?
You seen the teams we play the first 3 games of the year? That's kind of how they play. 2 of them. The third plays like Princeton. So it's 4 shooters and a center, setting a lot of screens. So our guys got indoctrinated into having to defend outside the 3-point line. And I'm not about the bigs. That's the good thing for our basketball team. PJ, Sindarius, Dwayne, even Justin to a certain extent, they're going to be rock solid in our perimeter defense. Silva has to grow as a player. He once again, the senseless fouls that make 0 sense. So now he's out of the game, which is not a bad thing because it made KG and Mike and those guys, Jarrell, become responsible for the outcome of today's game. They had to play, so it's prepared them.